Alright, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Sirr Love, and welcome back to Phase 6, your source for music, business, motivation, and support. I'm out and about, but I wanted to make sure I get this content to you. I was having a conversation with with Yani Mo and Prorow and the team that I work with recently about radio promotions and how to kind of get your record in the radio. And I recorded that conversation, and so I want to make sure that you guys have, access to, get some of that information that I was giving to my own people. I think it'll be helpful for a lot of people that are trying to figure out the radio conversation. So let's get into it. Phase 6. Dealing with radio, and it's really no secret, and you can't be blunt and open with certain conversations about radio, but there's a consulting aspect to it, and consultants ain't cheap.
You mean consulting?
I think it's networking aspect.
There's a networking aspect to it, but there's also a consulting aspect to radio.
What do you mean by
consulting
aspect?
Okay, so the way radio works is so if you're underground, right, and you're trying to get your record on the radio and trying to get it promoted, okay, there's a few record label, not record, there's a few radio DJs or radio programmers, because the programmers are the ones that pick the records now and put it in rotation. There's few programmers that'll be like, I just fuck with you. I'm gonna play the record because I fuck with you. But even still, they're only gonna play it but so much. It's not gonna be a full rotation. Because what radio people have learned over the years is that I'm gonna put you in full rotation. I'm gonna blow you up and make you rich and huge and famous. And what do I get out of it? I'm the one that busts my ass making you hot, and I don't get nothing out of it. And there's no system really for rewarding, no formal system for rewarding, the radio for doing what they do and breaking records and taking care, making people millionaires. And really, the truth is, most radio personalities don't get paid a lot. Like, they don't get paid a lot at all. Like, a lot of people that you hear on the radio every day, what they're making from the actual radio station itself is really kibbles and bits. You can make more with a degree on a 9 to 5. You can make more on a lot of blue collar jobs than what they're making on a radio station. Now, what they can do is they can use, their radio status to create other opportunities, sponsorships, whatever, to make more money, movies, whatever they're able to do, right? But they're not really eating like you might think they're eating. So, but they love what they do and they're making money. They can support their lifestyle. So, radio promoter, his job is to build a relationship with radio programmers and decision makers and tastemakers at the radio stations in order to facilitate the record being played. Okay, because at the end of the day, your record being played is all politics. So who knows who's supporting you, who's behind you. Okay, and so if you want your record to be played, the radio station, and since I'm recording this, I'm gonna speak. I'll tell y'all extra shit after when I cut the camera. But like the radio payola is illegal, and the radio station can't take money for records being played. However, a consultant gets paid to talk to radio people to help get your record played. To be an influencer person. So when you hire that person, they're gonna tax you a certain amount so that they can influence the people that matter and get your record played. Right? If for any reason your record starts taking off organically on its own, okay, there's one or two things are going to happen. Either one, the record's blowing up so much the radio can't stop it, they can't interfere with it, they're going to support it, and you're the next shit. Which means you spent a whole lot of money on streets promotions to get it to that point. Or B, your record is seeding, it's growing, people are calling in, but it's not so much that it's overwhelming to the point where the radio station can really come at you and say, listen, your record's growing, it's close to that cliff level of making you appealing to record labels. We can push it to the next level. We can help take your record to the next level. But in order to do that, you're going to have to see, one of our radio consultants and see how they can help you make that happen. And as you know, the radio consultant comes with a fee. And you have to figure all that out and make, those things happen. And it's because anyone that goes out their way to work for you deserves to be paid to do it. And so if we're trying to break your record on radio, then we have to be able to facilitate, people that are going to come in and support our cause. Okay, so now that you guys got finished watching that video, there's a couple things I want to make sure that I clarify before we just put it out there. One, the radio promoter and the radio station. These are two different entities. They are not legally tied together. I just want to make sure that that's really clear, so that you understand that it's no funny business with the information that I'm giving you. Second, I did mention that street promotions was a great way to get your record popping and appealing to radio, but you can also be online. Actually, when radio gets ready to play your record at any given time, they're going to do this thing called researching. It's called researching your record, and it's basically just that. They have a lot of data indicators via online, via tastemakers, people out there in the streets and clubs and bars and different places. A lot of online tools that they're going to use to compile a rating system on you and determine if you have enough popularity, or if this particular record has enough popularity to actually put on radio. So that's a piece I didn't mention, is that your record has to be researched, and now they're using a lot of coding systems and a lot of stuff I talk about in this video right here. Hopefully I can put it on the screen, you can click it or whatever. You can learn more about data and how data affects music and researching records and things of that nature. So there's a couple pieces. One, there are a lot, as there's a lot of DJs and personalities and people involved with the radio station. So when you go forward to pushing your record through a radio program, a radio promoter, there's different strategies that different people use in order to get your record in rotation. Maybe that's starting late night radio and then moving to daytime radio, or going with different particular DJs or personalities, putting it on a mix show first and then trying to trickle it somewhere else. It's all sorts of different strategies that when you meet that person and you have that conversation, you're at that level and you're ready to talk, they'll talk to you about all those different strategies. But normally it's not just you pay this radio promoter and then your record's on the radio. It's not how it works. The radio promoter still has to try to work the record. Working the record is when you're basically in the process of promoting the record and trying to figure out how to make it work and how to make it accepted to the public. So he's going to work that record, and that can look any of different ways depending on the type of record it is, the stations it needs to go to, etc., etc., etc. And it's that person's job to put that together. A lot of times the initial number that you start with may increase depending on the level of growth that record is experiencing and what channels it needs to go to. Once you get it at a good place in rotation, you'll start to attract the other attention that you're probably going to radio for, whether that's fan attention or it's political, label, tastemaker attention, whatever attention you're trying to attract. You'll start to get it if you can stay on a plan, a regimen. Normally this is not a cheap plan or regimen, because it takes a lot of work on that promoter side. Now another question you might want to know is, can you do this on your own? Like, do you need a radio promoter? The answer is yes, but the answer is also no, because radio stations, like I said, they have these relationships with these promoters, and it's normally advantageous for them to work with the promoter versus working with the independent manager, things of that nature. However, as your career gets bigger and bigger, you will get to the point where you can bypass the radio promoter. But remember this, you might build relationships with X amount of stations, but these radio promoters, a lot of times they have relationships, or in a network of promoters that have relationships with multiple stations that can really expand what you're trying to do. So understand that it's normally advantageous to go that route unless you have other means of doing so. And if you have those, you probably need to watch this video in the first place. So just a little inside information. I'm Sirr Love. I don't know everything, but I know a lot about a little and a little about a lot, and I'm going to give you guys everything that I got all the time, raw as I can make it. You know what I'm saying? Go online, check out some other videos I did on data and understanding how to really get yourself researchable out here, and make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do. Go to the site, phase6phasevi.com. There's some tools on there that can help you with that as well, and more video and content and all that type of stuff, man. It's your boy Sirr Love. I don't know everything, but I know a lot about a little and a little about a lot, and giving you everything that I got every time. Thank you. Take care. Phase 6.
Come on to face it. If you need some marketing motivation, you can learn to transform your life and build your own empire. With Sirr Love.
Real talk, no chase.
Yeah.
Real talk, no chase.
Yeah.
Real talk, no trace.
Yeah.
Real talk, I said real talk, I said real talk, no chase.
Yeah.
Real talk, no chase.
Yeah.
Real talk, no chase.
Yeah. With Sirr Love.